All right. Oh, one second. We get a little farther down. Perfect. All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Up and Moving. My name is Isaac. I'm a grad student here in the Department of Kinesiology and Integrative Physiology at Michigan Tech. And the goal of Up and Moving is to provide a free community-based physical activity resource for the Upper Peninsula. This is my last Up and Moving I think I'm ever gonna do. So this is making me a little sad. This kind of I'm gonna have to come back for a reunion one, but what I was gonna do, I'm a sentimental human, and since we archive all our videos, I was gonna go back and do the same workout that I did for you all in July of 21. But then when I was watching it, I realized how bad it was, and how sometimes I don't realize throughout doing these videos for almost 2 years, realize how much I hope we're all able to provide you with an activity resource and teach you something new, but we get to learn something as we go along. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm not doing the one from 2021 because I'm sorry you had to go through that one, but we all learn. I've learned a lot through this. So with this workout today, all you're going to need is an open space, a chair like I have behind me, preferably not a rolly one, so it's not gonna run away on you. So have something with a nice stable base, and then some sort of resistance. I have some dumbbells right to the side here, which are very light, but if you don't have anything like that, even a few water bottles, soup cans, laundry detergent bottles, anything that you can hold on to. Just to give you a idea, we're going to be doing a bent over row for our back muscles, as well as some shoulder lateral raises. So think about that sort of weight while you are thinking about your equipment. And other than that, I'll give you a few seconds to think about that. Other than that, I'm going to get a timer going. I have my dumbbells right here. If you give me 1 second. All right. So if you're ready to join me here, everyone, if you have all your equipment, make sure you have some water around you for a little bit of a hydration break as we take some time off between exercises. And if you're ready, you can just come along and join me here in the middle of the room with a nice standing march. We'll go nice and slow here to start off for a opposite knee to opposite elbow march. Just get moving nice and slowly here. And while we're going here, you can relax on the marching a little bit, maybe take some little baby steps. We can move our lower body and our upper body at the same time. We can get moving in some forward circles. We can start off nice and slow, nice and small. Then we can start making them a little bigger until we're turning into an entire windmill here. Then we can go in the backwards direction. So this would be one arm's going clockwise, one arm's going counterclockwise, but then we can gradually get a little bit larger until nice and large here. And one nice stretch that I found when I was watching my old videos, kind of forgot about this one, so thanks, undergraduate Isaac, but these are called Supermans. You can do them on the prone position if you're laying on the carpet, but just one way. Let's imagine that we're flying towards the ceiling, and to do that, we're going to be putting our hands behind us. So really opening up our chest, and let's act like we are flying. To do that, you sort of put your hands behind you to make you more aerodynamic, and just a nice stretch for the front of our shoulders as well as our chest. Get that nice proud posture You can just walk around the room here, hold that for a few seconds. Relax a little bit, come back. And the toughest way to do this stretch, it's for more so like shoulder blade mobility, but usually if you stand here and then you come back this way in the chest supported position, that's typically a rehab exercise you do for any scapular shoulder blade issues, but hold this for a few more seconds. Okay, so now we got those ready. Let's go ahead with a few nice hugs, going back and forth here. And as we go ahead with these, of course, we're relaxed when we go ahead to hug, but then have a nice stretch this way. Try to pinch your shoulder blades together as you go ahead here. And just get ready like we're going into the pool, like Michael Phelps. Okay, so now we'll go ahead with some more lower body stretches. We'll do some quadricep stretches with a nice reach to the sky. Nice and simple here. We'll look for about 3 more each leg here. So try to shake your leg out after each one. You don't have to go right into the next rep immediately. Okay, now we'll move ahead into some quick little hamstring scoops. So we got to stretch each side of the leg, right? We can't ignore one of them. Go for about 5 each leg. So a couple more left for each side. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to be doing a forward lunge with a little bit of a rotation. So what's going to happen is we'll step forward. Oops, excuse me, I'll back up a little bit. Step forward, and then we will rotate each side. So it doesn't have to be a crazy, very deep lunge. This is a full one. We don't have to go all the way. Even just having a partial little lunge, feel a little bit of work in your front quad, and then rotate each way. So you can even turn it into like a little bit of a warrior pose, as some of our yoga enthusiasts would appreciate. I hope that's the warrior pose. Don't fact check me on it. I'm sure I'll get in trouble for saying that. Go one more each side. Okay, now we're going to get into some hip openers. So what's going to happen is I'm going to hike my hip up, rotate it outwards. We have a few hip or quadricep exercises today, so these will be especially good. And once again, I'm doing them in the static position, not moving because I'm in the camera here. But if you want to take a walk down your hallway and do these, go to the kitchen and grab some water. That's perfectly fine too. A lot of times these dynamic stretches, as they're called, like the stretches that incorporate a little more movement, typically those are done up and down the gym or on the track. One more each leg. Okay, so now we're going to throw our way into a few butt kicks now. So just kicking behind us for a little bit, do a few circles around the room, just kicking directly behind me. Got about 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1. Then we'll move into a little more of a regular jog. We're having your knees out in front of you now. So we'll do a few hot laps around our our room here for a couple seconds. And we'll finish up here in 3, 2, 1, and take a break. So we should be all warmed up now, feeling good. I give my shoes a little bit of a nicer tie, and then we'll get into our workout for today. Okay, so what our workout is going to be consisting of today is, so we're gonna be doing a little bit of a strength-oriented workout. So we're gonna do some muscle strengthening activities with a little bit of aerobic movements incorporated into that. So with our first circuit, I would like you to grab your resistance, whether that is your dumbbells, water bottles, whatever you have. And our first exercise is just a bent over row. And the way that works is we're going to take our resistance, we're going to have them at our sides, and I'll just do it from the side view here. So once they're at our pockets, feet shoulder width, we're going to bend over, let them hang out, and then we're going to be pulling the weight towards us. So bring your elbows past your hips. Try not to bring them, try to keep your shoulders down. So try to have some separation between your ears and your shoulders, and then you're pulling towards you, pinching your shoulder blades together, and you should get a nice workout with that. So we're going to do that for 30 seconds. Then our next one would be, excuse me, I put them down, but our next one, holding on to the weight still, a little bit more of a shoulder exercise, will be some lateral raises. So this one we go ahead and make a T. You can have a nice little bend in your elbow as you bring them up here. Try not to go too far past your T. If you make it into a Y, we're doing some other exercises, or other muscles, but hang on with the T. And then the last one, once you put those down, we're just going to get into a regular jumping jack to get our heart rate up for about 30 seconds. Once again, you can do some abbreviated ones where you may step to the side, or another one that our lab group introduced me to, coming into a partial squat with our hands above our head. So we're going to go through those 30 seconds at a time. Bang, bang, bang. Work out for about 90 seconds straight. And then we'll take a break. So if we're ready, we'll make sure you have your resistance with you. And we will get started here in 3, 2, 1. And here we go. So pulling those weights towards you. Another idea for weight, if you're a little behind on your laundry, if your hamper is full, you can always use that, especially with the full or with the handles on it. Three, two, one. Okay. Now we're going to go into some lateral raises. So making a T. Try to go nice and slow, especially when we're lowering the weight. And then you can sort of explode on the way up, but take your time lowering the weight and then up. Three, two, one. Okay. Then we'll move into our jumping jacks. We'll go straight into it here for 30 seconds. Three, two, one, and break. So great job, everyone. That's our first set. So we'll take a few seconds here and take a break, and then we'll get right back into it. All right. So we'll wait about 10 or 15 more seconds here. Then we'll get right back into our next go around. To make it more difficult for you, consider finding some heavier resistance, or for 30 seconds, just try to get a few more reps in as you did the last time. So we'll get ready here. We'll get started here in 3, 2, 1. And here we go, everyone. Five more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now we'll stay nice and tall. Little bend in our knees. Go ahead and make some capital T's, or I guess it'd be a lower T if you count my head poking out. It's important to, as I've noted with this exercise before, try to really focus on contracting the muscle at your shoulders. So where you would have your shoulder pads on if you're playing a sport, that should be the muscle that is shortening. 3, 2, 1. All right. Then we'll go straight into our jumping jacks for 30 seconds. Five more seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right. Great work, everyone. We made it through twice now. We got one more to go through. So I hope where everyone's joining us from, whether it's Houghton, anywhere else in the UP, anywhere else in the country, that's the beauty of virtual exercise. Hope you're enjoying some nice weather. Okay. Now that we've caught our breath a little bit, we've recovered. If we're ready, we'll grab our resistance and we'll get ready for our third go around here. We'll get started here in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. As I go from the front on view here, try to make sure that when you pull through, you're not flaying your elbows out. Try to keep those nice and tucked to your sides. You might feel like you have less range of motion if your elbows are tucked, but trust me, that's the way we want it here. Three, 2, 1. Okay, now we'll go into our lateral raises. Into these T poses, I guess. Three, 2, 1. Then we'll go right into our jumping jacks. Get our heart rate up one more time for this circuit. Three, 2, 1. All right. Great work. Take a much deserved break here for about 60 seconds or so. All right. So that one was more majority of upper body, of course, with a little bit of help with our jumping jacks. But now for our second one, we're gonna do a little bit more of a lower body focused exercise selection. So keep your, oh goodness, what am I saying? We don't need the resistance for this one. All you're gonna need is your chair around you. And these were exercises are familiar, but there's some beauties, especially when they're all coupled together. Our first one to work our quadriceps will be some floor touches. We'll give you a couple more options if that might not be your cup of tea, but it's a nice single leg exercise. But what's going to happen with the floor touches, if you remember, is we're going to start off with our feet a little wider than shoulder width. So if I make a proud pose here, they're sort of in line with my elbows. And then what's going to happen is going one leg at a time. We're going to bend down and touch the floor. And to do that, so if I'm going to work my right leg, my left one is pivoting, and then I'm sort of going into a side lunge here. So as you can see, opening up, coming down onto this leg, and then coming towards touching the floor. So we're just going to go back and forth here. You can keep your hand on your hip for support, or if you want the chair around you, that's great too. Then the next one is we're going to be working our hips and the sides of our glutes or our butts. So these are hip abduction exercises. So holding on to the edge of the chair, we're going to be moving our hip to the side. So just to show you without the chair, I use my left leg for stability, and then keep this leg pretty straight, and we're kicking it to the side. So you'll be able to feel it. If you put your hand between your front pocket and your back pocket, you'll feel that muscle contracting a little bit towards where your belt is. So that will be great. The next one, last but not least, we're going to be doing some ladder climbs. So opposite knee to opposite hand. So finishing off with a little bit of aerobic work here, going up in the air like a firefighter and going up the ladder. The faster you go, the more difficult. And you can just take steps without leaving the ground, or to make it more challenging, really jump up and down, try to hit those ceiling tiles. Okay. So if we're ready, we'll get started here. We'll grab one last sip of water, and we will get going here in 3, 2, 1. And here we go. Floor touches. If these are a little too difficult for you, you can always transition into a regular squat. Three, 2, 1. Okay. Now we'll go ahead, grab onto that chair. We'll be kicking to the side here. We'll go one leg for 15 seconds, and then we'll move over. Three, 2, 1. Go ahead and switch. And if it gets too difficult with your leg straightened, you can always bend it a little bit. So then it's just a little bit of a shorter lever here. 3, 2, 1. Now, last but not least, we'll get into some ladder climbers for 30 seconds. I'm going to go nice and slow this first one here. Just make sure I get up the ladder safely. Three, 2, 1. And great job, everyone. Oof, that's a tough one. So we'll take a much needed break here for about a minute. Then we'll get right back into it. All right. So if you're ready to join me, we'll get going for our second go around here. So once again, floor touches we start off with, then we'll go use our chair for support for some hip abductions and then some ladder climbs. So we're ready. We'll get started here in 3, 2, 1, and here we go. This exercise here is a nice one as it really replicates our activities of daily living. So if we become inactive or immobile, we drop something on the ground, it could become difficult to pick it up, right? And that's when falls occur. So when people get hurt. 3, 2, 1. We'll move over to our hip abductions. Okay, go ahead and switch legs. Three, 2, 1. All right. And then last but not least, we'll start off or we'll finish off here with our ladder climbs. If your legs are too tired, another core exercise we can do is some standing ab crunches. Or if this one's a little bit more difficult than that. So if you want to switch it up, no problem with that. Got about 15 seconds here. Keep that core tight. 3, 2, 1. And great job, everyone. Grab a sip of water, take a break. So then we'll go ahead and we'll go through this one more time, and then we will go for a cool down. Okay, everybody. We're ready to rock this last circuit or this last go around. We'll get started here at the top of the minute based on my timer. We'll get started in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Let's finish strong. We got 5 more seconds, everyone. Finish strong. 3, 2, 1. Okay, right on. Now move into our hip activity. About 15 seconds per leg. Three, 2, 1. Go ahead and switch. Three, 2, 1. And last but not least, we'll finish off with our ladder climbers here for 30 seconds. We got 10 more. Keep battling. 3, 2, 1. Well done, everyone. Made it through. Grab a sip of water. Oof, okay, that second circuit was is definitely tough on our glutes and our butt muscles. We'll be feeling that tomorrow or Saturday for sure. And with that, while we take a few seconds here, whenever you're ready, you can come on and if you have your chair, we can start off with a few chair stretches, especially for our glutes. So if you're ready, I'm going to sit towards the end of the chair here. I'm going to cross my leg like I'm sitting proper, I guess. And I'm going to grab onto my knee and pull it towards me. And with that, you'll feel a nice stretch in the back towards our butts and the muscles that we were just working. So if you feel a nice stretch where it was just burning 2 minutes ago, that means you're doing a great job. We will hold this for 3, 2, 1. Shake that out. Then we'll go ahead, switch our legs. One way to make this even more difficult, if you're interested, we've done this before, is if you put your foot on your knee now and you push your knee towards the ground to make it parallel with the floor. That's a really good stretch. But this one's still a good, we'll call it medium difficulty. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now I'd like you to grab your hands, put them behind you as if you're in a handcuff. Hopefully we all never have to experience that. But then you can just slide your hands down towards your butt and bring your shoulders back towards your hands. So this is just a chest stretch. So really all we're doing is that Superman at the same time, but we're using our hands. If we're putting them together, we're helping pull down. We're getting a nice stretch here. Then you can join me here in the middle once again. Feet a little wider than shoulder width. Do some nice rotations. And with that, we thank you for joining today. That's what I have for you. Make sure you keep following us on Up and Moving. We will be having a workout on Saturday, and then stay tuned for a message in the future about the exercise schedule for the summer and the summer break. We will still be hosting workouts, but more than likely it'll be on a one-day basis. So stay tuned for news about that. And we'd appreciate your input, whether we keep Thursday or Saturday, which one. So check us out on our archive videos, and we'll see you next time, everyone. Thank you. Isaac is signing off.